soon as I see the light. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's that time. It's time for the John Perrotta and Jessica Leigh check-in in conjunction with John Perrotta's Comedy Factory. It's Zoom-a-Loser. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your host, John Perrotta.
Thank you, Mike Cronin. Back in the 90s, he was known as the bad boy of comedy. Now he's a Christian comic. God bless you, Mike. May you go in peace, my son. God bless you. Mike Cronin. I'm John Perrotta. We got a great guests tonight, a great panel on us. We got Larisa Entin. Larisa, say hello, Larisa.
Hello.
Larisa did some improv comedy, got into stand-up, and she's also a nurse. So we're going to talk to her about that. We have Elaine Pelino. Say hello, Elaine. Elaine was a cheerleader for the Houston Oilers, and also acting in some movies and doing comedy. She's done all kind of things. And then we got my co-host every week, Jessica Leigh. Jessica is a therapist by day, and at night she's my comedy therapist. So she's my comedy therapist. It works out great, believe me. I got to start off before we get going. I got to tell this story. My vacuum cleaner broke. Right? And it's not that old. And I got a guy I've been going through for years. I buy the vacuums there. Any problems? I'm not mechanically inclined. I've had people say, "Why didn't you fix it?" I'm bad with a screwdriver. I'm not mechanically inclined. So I bring it over to my guy and he fixes it. So today I put it in the car. I drive over there. I'm going to mention this place. I drive over there. I take it out of the car. He comes to the door. I got my mask on. He says, "Don't bring that in here." I said, "You got to repair it." I said, "I'm bringing it to get fixed." He said, "Because of the virus, I'm not fixing vacuum cleaners." So I'm looking at the sign. It's a vacuum cleaner repair place, and he's open. But he's not going to fix any vacuums. What is he, money laundering out of there? Is he selling coke? What is he doing? I don't know. He's not fixing vacuum clean. Maybe he's got a escort service going on in there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But so I was like kind of stunned. I thought he was kidding. So I forget his first name. I said, you got to be kidding me, right? He said, "No." He said, "Because of the COVID," he says, "there's germs in the vacuum cleaner." He said, "I don't want to get." So I'm thinking to myself, I've never heard the governor or the president or anybody say, Dr. Fauci or any of them say, "Stay away from your vacuum cleaner because you might get the virus." I mean, I don't joke about the virus, but I thought this was kind of far-fetched because I could see being around a bunch of people, maybe you get it, but I mean, I wiped the vacuum cleaner off, so I don't understand. So that's where I'm at tonight. And I put it on Facebook right in front of the place. I had to put it on what happened. And then one of my friends messaged me another place that repairs vacuum cleaners. So I called that guy to see if he would do it. And he said, "Yeah, I'm fixing vacuum cleaners." So we got two places. One's afraid of the virus to touch a vacuum cleaner. The other place, the guy will touch it all day long. So that's where we're at.
Well, John, I have an idea. Maybe the first guy also happens to be the vacuum cleaner salesperson.
He wanted to sell me a vacuum
buy a
cleaner.
new one.
Yeah, he wanted to sell me a $200 vacuum cleaner. It's not that dirty here that I need a $200 vacuum cleaner.
I have a $200 vacuum cleaner. I have a $40 Dirt Devil from Family Dollar, I think it is. It's not even a full-size vacuum cleaner. I have a studio apartment, so I don't really have that much space to vacuum, but you bought a $200 vacuum
No, I didn't buy it. No, he tried to say get a $200 vacuum cleaner.
Oh.
I figured it's going to be like, I said, "No, I don't need that." So, I mean, I got a spare vacuum cleaner, so I'm using that for now. It's fine. So I just didn't think it was a big deal. I'll bring it, I'll drop it off, he'll fix it, I'll get it in a few days. But that became the issue of my day. But then I was near the Louise Bakery. I went in there and I bought some pizza. They got pizza rounds. They're delicious. So I bought a couple of pizza rounds and a spinach pie and a piece of custard pie. I'm on a diet, but today I cheated a little. The vacuum cleaner threw me. So then I cheated.
I love that because it's
when something throws me, Elaine, I eat. That's why I got so big. Things throw me, and then I eat.
No, I just love the part about the not being able to vacuum. Are you kidding? I would love another excuse not to clean my house. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, I can't clean today. I don't want to get COVID.
Well, we're talking to Elaine now. Now, Elaine was a cheerleader for the Houston Oilers back in the day. What was that like, Elaine? You got any stories on that, or?
Yeah, no, it was really fun. I mean, I loved it. I got to see some of the greatest football players. And the best part, one time, they always tell you whenever the ball's in play is for us to turn around and face the team and, stand there and, still with your pom-poms on your side. And one time the crowd was calling me because they would call us by name because I had done the poster and they yelling, Elaine, Elaine. So I turned around all cocky, but hi. Also, boom, I go flying. This big giant football player had caught the ball and he went into the side and I was out like a light. Face planted on the ground at the Astrodome. Yeah, that was fun.
How long were you a cheerleader?
Just 1 year. I just did it for 1 year.
Was it a lot of fun?
I had a ball. Are you kidding? See, here's my poster. See?
That's cool. And now
that's a dinosaur.
Yeah, you also did. I saw a movie you did. I watched that movie. That was like an Italian themed movie.
Vinny and Angela.
Vinny and Angela. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I watched that. I enjoyed that.
Oh, thank you. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So where'd you live in California when you did that, or?
Yeah, I actually did it in California, but then I worked with some people in URI, and they sent me all the still photos, and I tried to make it like a Rhode Island funeral home. It was a beautician married to a mortician in a mafia neighborhood, and they were running bodies in and out, and it was fun.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty crazy. It was funny. They had some funny parts.
Yeah. I loved it. It was great. I miss that. I miss making films. I want to start doing that again. But I miss stand-up more than anything.
Yeah, well, it'll come back, but I'm not sure. I mean, there'll be open mics coming back, but like I've talked to a lot of the clubs and restaurants I do, and a lot of them cancel shows I had this year, or they said we'll wait and see later in the year. So I think it's going to be a while before it really comes back what we had. When they get a vaccine, I think then it'll really be back. Between now and then, I mean, there'll be some open mics and stuff. But the dinner shows, I did a lot of dinner shows. I think they're going to be a while before they get really come back. We'll see. There's a lot of questions and no answers, so we're gonna have to wait and see.
We'll keep praying and hoping, and
yeah, keep praying and hoping. Like we have a comedy class we were supposed to start in September. I don't think that's gonna happen. So everything's up in the air, we got Larisa. Larisa is also did improv, got into stand up. She's a nurse. So what do you got for us, Larisa? What do you got? And Larisa came here in 1992, right?
Yes.
From Russia.
From Russia.
Wow.
She's a Russian comic.
Cool. But John, I was just about to say, definitely not before they start fixing vacuum cleaners. We're not going to do shows.
We can't do stand-up till they fix the vacuum cleaners.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can't fix a vacuum cleaner, how are we going to do a show?
I would assume they are essential workers, those people. I guess like you and I.
I know. I wish I was fixing vacuum cleaners someday, though. I feel like that would be like a walk in the park in comparison to like.
Think about how much business we could give to those people. Everybody home, we clean, we work on home improvement. Right, Jen? Now you have time to clean.
I feel like
and vacuum.
It would be like a dream to put together a vacuum cleaner for like a day,
Yeah.
Not think and just put together a vacuum cleaner, and
it's like a puzzle. Yeah, we can do it.
You should have seen this guy's face. It was like I was bringing in like a dead body. He's looking at me like I'm like, it's a vacuum cleaner.
Well,
and then when you said about the vacuum, I've never heard of anybody.
You vacuumed up the COVID and you brought it in the vacuum. I don't know.
How are you going to catch COVID from a vacuum? I don't know. Maybe had a couple of people. Most of the people kind of went along. So it was crazy. And then a couple of people were serious. They were like, "Well, you can catch." I said, how are you going to catch one?
It's confusing because you read one article that says, that you can catch it from and that you should sanitize everything ever. And then you read something else that's like, no, you don't really get it from surfaces like that. And it's so confusing to draw the line of like, how you can get it, how you can't get it. And you just wanted your vacuum cleaner fixed and clean.
I think what I should do I'll have my own parade. I'll go down Reservoir Avenue at my house with a vacuum. I'll wear my mask and I'll push the vacuum. Nobody will come near me, I guess. That guy's got a vacuum. Watch him. He's got the virus. I don't know. Then we got the bad boy of comedy turned into a Christian comic. He's got the hat on. He looks like Raiders of the Lost Ark over there in North Providence. Mikey, what's going on? Mike Cronin.
Social worker. I love the 180 factor. So this is great. I love the changes and the positivity. So
she's our therapist. If anybody's got a problem, we talk to Jessica. What's going on with you, Mike?
Go right to Jessica. I'm excited to be on yet another episode of the Zoomalooza with John Perrotta and Jessica Leigh. I think this might be my 5th appearance.
I don't know.
I'm going to start endorsing. I called Metamucil earlier today and see if they come on and be a sponsor for my segment. They might be up for that. As I told you before, John, Larisa, Elaine, and Jessica don't know, my dear friend Tommy Moore and I, who at one time was part of the wildly successful Cato and Morin, God brought Tommy back into my life, and we formed what is called Laughter in Hope Ministries. Visit us online at laughterandhope.com. And what Laughter and Hope is, we use comedy as a bridge to salvation and hope through Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's great.
We do events at theaters, churches, outreach ministries. We've been in the prisons here and up in Massachusetts. And like John, we had a big summer that was booked for us. However, as I've told John in private conversations, I believe that God is going to replace what we lost in terms of events and bring them back tenfold. So we're looking forward to having that happen, getting back out there and making people laugh, because people need to laugh. You know, whoever came up with that saying, laughter is the best medicine, Jessica, you being in that field, know that when you laugh, it comes from such a joyful heart. It comes from such a joyful place, and you feel better. And I think as entertainers, all of us know what that feels like, to look out at an audience, regardless of its size, and just feel that energy, that positive energy just come right back. I know for me, I always pray before I take the stage that whatever burdens are weighing down on a person, whether it be marital, boyfriend, girlfriend, I can't pay my car payment, I hate my neighbor, my dog bit me, whatever it is, I always pray that God lifts that burden off them. And for whatever time this show's going to be, that they just laugh and have a good time, And that's what I had said to John. I know I'm repeating myself here, but you know, John's been entertaining New England for 30 years. And when this does get behind us, these very people are going to look to John again. Because as I said to John, you don't know how many people sat across their kitchen table and came across an ad, a flyer, back when John was running around town stapling flyers onto telephone poles.
That's going back into the 90s. I was crazy.
How many people said, I need to laugh tonight, man. I need to laugh. I need to go to that show. And that happens. Here's a funny story, and it's a true one. I had a production company called Meatball Comedy Stop, and we got off to a good start, had a lot of rooms. And John and I are talking on the phone. I said, John, send me your headshot. All right, brother. All right. What's your address? I said, I give him my email. No. What's your home address? I said, John, just email it to me. No, bad boy. I'm old school. So now I just went online, grabbed his 8x10, right-click, saved it, went to my website, put the promo post together and everything. 3 days later, an 8x10 manila envelope comes in the mail. John Perrotta's headshot. He mailed it to me.
I was old school, man. I'm just catching up with all this. This took me a couple of weeks to learn this. I'm old school.
Was Meatball Comedy Stop around in like 2010?
Yeah. Yep.
I think I remember Meatball Comedy Stop. I don't remember
Yep.
where your clubs were, but I do remember hearing about it.
We had rooms in Massachusetts. We had rooms here in Rhode Island.
Oh, wow.
My dear friend Charlie Hall designed our logo. We had a good run.
Yeah, I did a
That's
few shows
impressive.
for Mike. It was great. We had a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I'm telling you, girls, I'm not exaggerating one bit. Back when John and I first started out, when he got the Comedy Factory rolling, you would call the number and it would be his children, David and Gina, in their tiny little kid voices, doing this thing. You reached John Perrotta's Comedy Factory. It was so cute. It was adorable. And I would drive through Rhode Island, Silver Lake, Edgewood, Warwick, and I would be like stopped at a stoplight, and I'd look on the telephone pole, and he'd have these 8x10 flyers stapled onto the telephone
Oh,
pole.
crazy. I don't
The
remember
man
that.
was a one-man wrecking crew.
A comedy crime wave.
It was incredible.
Jessica's had a lot of fun on my show. She calls them the Perrotta shows because some of them we have like headliners. We have like an hour and a half, 2-hour show, and then we have the marathon. We do open mics. We just invite everybody. We have everybody go. You know. So and Jessica, the one what comes to mind was the bowling alley in East Providence.
Yes.
That was kind of wacky.
Was it East Providence or yeah, I think it was. I'm thinking, oh, okay. I thought it was Pawtucket. I don't know why I thought that. I think, but it like kind of connects.
It was near Pawtucket. It was on East Providence Pawtucket line. Strikers Lounge in the East Providence lanes, I think it was, and we had a show. I don't know how many comedians we had that night. I was gonna host the second half, I think, but I said, Jessica, take this money, host the whole show. It was like I let comics go. Yeah, go on. We let them go on. I'm nuts. I do have some marathon shows where people criticize me for that, but you know what? I like to give everybody a chance, and it's fun, you know.
My favorite thing about you is that you give everyone a chance.
Yes.
Everyone a chance. Like,
yeah, I try.
No, you do, John. You have been very kind and very fair to all of us. And
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
try. I try to help from when I did. What happened to me is I started in '83. I got up once, I did well. I got up the second time, I bombed, and I quit for like 8 years. And then I came back, and once I got going, I started doing pretty good. I started running my own open mics. I think something in me said I want to help new comics because nobody took me under their wing and said, hey, I can help you get this spot or this spot. So I missed those 8 years of comedy when it was the comedy boom in the 80s. So I figured, I'm going to help comics. And that's I've dedicated part of my career to helping new comedians get stage time, veteran comedians, everybody trying to get stage time. And that's part of why I used to do C-Con Ramada Inn. We had marathon shows, 3-4 hour shows. We had a ball. Everybody remembers it. Like I said, I have the regular shows that are an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we had the marathon shows. But you know what? I wouldn't take it back. I had a ball. I met a lot of great comics like all of you. We've had a ball. You know what I mean? So can you give it? How about Elaine? We should have had you do a chair tonight.
Oh, I know.
We should have had the pom-poms and did a chair for us.
I don't even know where they are. I think they're buried in my car somewhere.
Buried in your car somewhere. Larisa, were you ever a cheerleader in Russia?
Okay, I have no ear for music. I have no movements. I go to the Zumba class. Music stops playing. I'm still dancing. Like, no.
I'm the same way. I can't dance.
Oh my gosh, no, I can't. I am not even allowed to sing happy birthday. It's how bad I am.
When my daughter got married last year, they kept telling me, you got to take dancing lessons. You got to dance with your daughter, some special dance. I said, I can't dance. I did one slow dance with her. We just moved around, and that was the end of it. I'm not a good dancer. Are you a good dancer, Elaine?
Save the last dance for me, John.
I'm okay.
We would be both very uncoordinated.
I'm very uncoordinated.
But a little dyslexic. And one time they took some photos of us doing a line dance in the middle of the Astrodome, and everybody had their left leg up. I had my right leg up, but it still worked. Hey, as long as you get the move. I knew the moves, I just did it backwards.
Now, who was the football? You remember who the football coach was when you were the Houston Oilers?
Yeah, Bum Phillips.
Bum Phillips. I was going to say that because I remember when I was a kid watching Bum Phillips way back. He was cool. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
that guy. He had the cowboy hat on all
He
the
was a
time.
nice guy. Yeah, I mean, it was like the coolest thing in the world back then, you know, because Texas really loves its football, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
just, you know, it was so much fun, I
Oh,
gotta
did,
say.
did any of the football players try to score you?
Oh, I did date a tight end.
You
And I
dated a
forgot
tight end?
My favorite position, the tight end. But he was good looking. He looked like Hercules, a big guy with a beard, blonde hair, you know, ice blue eyes. I went, oof. But we were supposed to do it, but of course, I mean, date him. That's it.
And you don't even think about that either, because like that would be a conflict of interest if you guys are working together, but you associate like football player, cheerleader, like, you know, combination, and like that's like actually frowned upon in real life.
Oh yeah, no, it was, you can't fraternize with the players if you're a cheerleader. It was like a part of a
What if they are
girls'
players?
But then as soon as we leave the place, you go home and there's messages on your machine from several of them. You know, even the visiting ones come in and get their number from the other guys.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That must have been crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy, but you know, it was
One
I
time.
loved it. I can't complain. I love
Yeah.
Texas.
Great experience. I'm sure was a great experience.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, see all those famous people playing, and I mean, I've seen some of the best quarterbacks and the best players.
What was that?
It was
Remember a
fabulous.
couple of famous players that you saw?
Yeah, I did a commercial with Joe Theismann.
You did?
Wow.
Oh,
Okay,
wow. I like Joe
This is a
Theismann.
true story. A couple of years after I was a cheerleader, they came to Houston, Gray Advertising, to do a commercial between the Houston Oilers and the Redskins for Ken and Camera. So they needed some cheerleaders. So they had Redskin cheerleader outfits. So I auditioned for it, and I got the part. And like,
Wow, that's
so
cool.
I had, all these big fake nails put on. And every time I would jump up to catch the football from Joe, boom, one would go, another would go, and I ended up with no fingernails. But you know, I got to meet Joe Theismann.
He seemed like a nice guy. I used to
Oh,
like
yeah.
listening to him when he broadcast the games and stuff.
Oh, he was very nice, and I made like a lot of money in residuals, so it kept me alive. When he broke his leg, I went, no, because that was the end of my residuals. But I felt
Oh,
bad.
man.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a gruesome
bad.
injury, man. I remember that. Oof, that was gruesome.
I know, I saw that, and I was like, oh God, you know, poor guy.
Lawrence Taylor tackled him.
Yes, from the Giants, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So what else you got to say? What else you got to say there, Mike Cronin? What's going on in your world?
And Bum Phillips, Elaine, and everyone else, and all our viewers out there, Bum Phillips is still best of friends today with Earl Campbell.
Oh, that's great.
Is he
That's
still
true.
living, Bum Phillips?
Yep. Bum Phillips is alive and well, and he is,
Check that out.
I think he's like in his mid-80s.
I could have sworn he passed away. He's got to be old.
Yeah, I thought he was old when I was cheering, but no, hey, God bless him. He had a personality.
His son is Wade Phillips.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. He did pass away. I am
Oh, he
incorrect.
did? Oh, no.
Passed away in 2013.
Okay.
So at the time that I saw his documentary, Earl Campbell's documentary, they were still very close. Matter of fact, in that documentary, Earl Campbell's body was so beat up from years of football, and if anyone remembers how he played, Elaine, you would. He was a one-man wrecking crew. You didn't see a running back like him. He'd take down 5 guys. It was incredible. And he was playing football all that time. He had like some type of a degenerative back disease to start with.
Oof.
And he was in just massive pain. When you watch the documentary, he could barely walk. And it was Bum Phillips' friendship with him. It led him to go to see one of Bum Phillips' friends, who was a doctor, and got him squared away. It's a very touching documentary. He's very successful, Earl Campbell. Him and his sons, they own this big steer farm. They're big into the steak business. He's done very, very well for himself.
I
well.
remember him playing. He was great. He was a great player.
Can you imagine trying to tackle him coming at you?
No.
Like, Elaine, you mentioned you got hit on the sidelines. What did that feel like to get hit by an NFL football player?
Well, yeah, I don't remember at the time. I just remember I had a concussion after that. But
Got a concussion? Wow.
yeah.
Those
Well, I
guys
mean, they
are
have
big.
helmets on, and he kept me from behind. I went
Yeah.
right down, and
Jesus.
no, but they apologized. It wasn't there. It is. That's why you have to pay attention when they tell you keep your eyes on the ball. They mean
Yes,
it.
you do. I remember watching a game, the legendary coach Marv Levy from the Buffalo Bills.
Mhm.
He's probably a guy my size, only 5'7". He's not a big guy. He's on the sideline. He's the head coach. And a play came his way. They flattened him like a pancake.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't think he was getting back up. I was like, man, someone better call 911. Man
Oh, God.
down.
Larisa
Yeah.
should have been there. She's the nurse. She should have
Oh,
been
yeah.
there.
I'll bring my Band-Aid. What else can I do?
That's about
What
it.
else can I
God
offer to
bless
an
you.
NFL player?
Nurses.
I can help you process the trauma after, but yeah.
But Elaine, I have to tell you, once I met the entire Jacksonville Jaguar team
Mm.
in a hotel. Let me tell you, those guys are big.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they big.
How do you say
Like, you know,
big in Russian?
Большие.
Oh,
You
shit.
know, when you see them on television, it's different. But when you see them right in front of you, gosh, they big.
Uh-huh.
So I can only imagine the concussion you see.
Oh, yeah. When you see it, I mean, good thing I didn't see if I would have fainted if I saw him coming out.
Yeah.
That would have been it. Oh, my God. Yeah. But I got to say, anything part of life, it's all experience and enjoy any part of your life and stay, what do you call it? Seasons, reasons and seasons. That was a fun season.
Yeah, that's
That
Now,
cool.
was
Elaine,
a fun
when
season.
you
We need a
when
new
you
fun
Elaine,
season.
I'm sorry, when you Elaine were a cheerleader, did they take you on the road too, or just home games?
No, only home games. But if we had won against Pittsburgh at the final for the
Yep.
AFC
Yep.
title, if we had won, we would have gone to the Super Bowl. And we cried when we lost. It was freezing cold, freezing rain. Earl Campbell could not hold on to the ball. No one could hold on to the ball. It was just,
Jeez.
and they lost. They kept fumbling, and they lost. And we were all like watching it because we went to the sports bar, all the girls, and we were just like crying, like, oh no, we don't get to go to Super Bowl. But it was still worth it. It was worth the
Of
ride,
course.
Jessica, what's going on? Jessica sees patients all week. She's unwinding now.
So yeah, it's definitely been a busy time with COVID and everything, and that is really interesting though, because it reminds me though, like it's such a cool experience, you know what I mean? Because it's almost like getting nominated for like an Academy Award, you know what I mean? Like, and you're so close, like you're so close.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's such a cool experience that you guys went that far. Like that's
Mhm.
that's fascinating.
Oh yeah, we had a good
Really
time.
cool.
If you made the Super Bowl, that would have been awesome. Wow.
I can remember that because many a football pundit will tell you that had Earl Campbell had a normal Earl Campbell game, they win because he was
Oh,
a
yeah.
one-man wrecking crew. He was in his prime. He was unbelievable.
Now, if it wasn't an ice storm and freezing cold, I think it would have been fine. If it was just a regular, even snow would have been okay. But it was just perfect storm of nothing.
I can hear in my head the song, Houston Oilers, Houston Oilers. Remember that?
Houston Oilers number one.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
We got the defense. We got the offense. We got the other side. I can't
That's
sing.
right, yeah.
Now you're doing it. You're
But
doing
I
it.
know it.
Me and Larissa can't sing. We can't sing it.
She's got it. Come on, John Larissa. Everyone join in. Let's all sing.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Jessica can't sing
I
either.
can't sing, I can't dance. I know Larissa was talking about Zumba earlier, and I decided to just on a whim, decided to join a Zoom class when I was at the gym one day, and I had like baggy sweatpants on and a giant t-shirt, and like all these like women are in the front, like all looking super hot, and like I'm just like tripping over my shell toes in the back. It was awful. Like it was a disaster. Like it was a true mess. I haven't done it since. Because like I don't know, like I can't follow that. Like the moves and everything that they do, like they
Oh,
don't.
it's fast, yeah.
They don't break anything down. They just do it, and everyone knows what they're doing except for you in the back with your shell toes on. I don't know. So it was a disaster, but
Oh, but it was fun though, I bet.
it was a
No,
it was a good story. I wish that like somebody had recorded it because I think that would have been good for my material at least.
Jeez.
I would rather
Jessica,
them to
tell
fix
me
the
what shell
vacuum
toes
cleaner.
are.
What's that?
I don't know what shell toes are.
Oh, Adidas shell toes, the best
Oh, that
sneakers.
was.
My favorite
Oh, okay.
sneakers in the
Okay.
world.
All right.
I gotta tell you this story because my Navy buddies, to change the subject, my Navy buddies texted me some pictures this week, and some of them I hadn't seen, and a few of them from Egypt. When I was in the Navy, we went to Alexandria, Egypt. There's this crazy story. It was crazy. My friend said it was the funniest thing that ever happened the whole time he was in the Navy. There was 4 or 5 of us. We got off the ship, and we took a horse and buggy ride, and he stopped and dropped us off at this bar in Egypt. So we go in the bar. There's 4, 5, 6 of us, and the beer is warm. They serve it warm in Egypt, so that's crazy. But we're drinking the beer. Some guy comes in with a bomb. He said $2, you get a hit. So it goes around. We didn't even know what it was. It was opium. So we didn't know.
Whoa.
So yeah, we all take a hit or two, and so now we're in this bar in Egypt, and now we're really blasted, drinking. A couple hours go by. We're gonna leave the bar and go back to the ship. Long story short, we go outside. The guy's got the horse and buggy. He's still there. He came back to see if we come out. So my friends are trying to negotiate, my Navy buddies, how much to get back to the ship. And I'm out of my mind, with drunk and everything else, whatever we smoke. I jump on the horse and buggy. I whack the horse. He takes off. So now I'm going down the streets of Egypt on a horse and buggy. I can't even drive a car, right? I'm going down the street. The guy's running after me, yelling to the horse. I don't know how he stopped him. The horse stopped. They all get on the thing. The guy wasn't mad at me. He let me drive the horse and buggy back to the ship. So now I'm going with the horse and buggy. My buddies are dying laughing. All of a sudden, another horse and buggy pulls up next to us. Now we're in a race. I'm in Egypt. My mother used to worry, he's in the Navy, something's going to happen. Nothing will happen, Mom. I'm on the streets of Egypt, no helmet on, a horse and buggy, going fast, right? I'm hitting the horse. I'm going up on the sidewalks. I'm all over the place. The other one's right next to us, right? There's a race. And somehow we stopped. My buddies were dying laughing. I had to tell that story. That's one of the craziest things I ever did. Like, I would never, ever do that today. Get on a horse and buggy in Egypt. Back and take off. I mean, I wouldn't even do that on Reservoir Avenue, right? I wouldn't even do that there. In Egypt, that's one of the wackiest things I ever did.
And he just takes right off.
Took off.
Wow.
Took off.
Wow.
I'm on the way.
Have you ever been back to Egypt to find that horse?
The horse liked me.
So,
I think the horse liked me. You guys want to go to Egypt sometime when the pandemic's over, and we'll do
sure, to find the
buggy
horse.
ride, and
Yeah.
I'll ride you guys.
How about camels?
I was on a camel in the period. That's another story. We go on some camels, right? And we're seeing the pyramids. We go out in the desert. All of a sudden, the guy gets off. He wanted to renegotiate. He told us how much money we paid him. Then he wanted to renegotiate. My buddy's arguing with him. He said, we ain't paying it. We ain't paying it. So now the guy lets us off and takes off with the camels, and we're in a desert. So I'm in a desert. I got a Powerade here, sugar-free. I got to have a drink. I'm in a desert now in Egypt. The camels are gone. We're walking. I don't know how long we walked. And we finally got to civilization in Egypt, whatever you want to call it. And it was a guy selling Diet Cokes for like $5. I bought 2 of them. I'm like dying being there. If you ever get stranded in a desert, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Wow.
That's my Egypt stories. That
is unbelievable.
I'll have more coming in the future. I went to 25 countries and had a lot of crazy things. I got locked up in Venezuela.
Oh my God.
Me and my buddy go into a bar. My other buddy goes down the street. He's eating. I said, we're going to go down the street to this bar. We go in, and we don't know. It doesn't look like a strip club. All of a sudden, all these girls sit around us. They bring
Yeah,
a
yeah,
bottle, put it
yeah.
on the table. Right, the girl took a sip. The guy comes over within a minute, gives us a bill for $50. Now, in 1978, $50 was a lot of money. So I looked at my buddy. I said, I don't know about you. I said, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to go out that door and run down the street to where my friend's eating. So he said, I'll come after you. So I took off. My other buddy takes off. We run down the street. We find my friend, Steve. He's eating away. I told him what happened. All of a sudden, the owner of the club comes in running after us. He moves his coat jacket. He's got a gun. So now here I am. He calls the police. The cops, Egyptian police come. They take us. They put us in a big room, lock us in. I'm with all these drunk Egyptian guys, right? And they don't understand what I'm saying. I start telling Rodney Dangerfield jokes, one-liners, Henny Youngman jokes. Take my wife, please. I'm saying all wacky. I had these Egyptian guys dying laughing, but it was out of fear. It was out of fear because I thought they're gonna kill me, right? So I had him laughing. And then my buddy, I was so mad, he wound up negotiating. He paid $35 to bail me out and pay for the liquor. He negotiated. I said, I would have stayed there the rest of my life. I would not pay $50 for that bottle of booze. But I was locked up in Venezuela.
Not
When
fun.
have you
So
had time to
when they lock you up, John, what happens when they find that you're military? Do they go easier on you?
Nah, they didn't care.
You don't
They
care.
didn't care. Nah.
Oh, so you were not in a uniform. You look like a civilian.
No, I wasn't in my uniform. Yeah.
I see.
But that was a crazy stuff. Crazy night, let me tell you.
When have you slept? I mean, I don't even know how much time you've had to do all of these things because every time I talk to you, it's something new and like extreme. Like
I know, huh?
When I was in the Navy, there were 4 of us. We dubbed ourselves the boys. We were the boys. That was our nickname. And we partied 25 countries. We partied hard. We went everywhere. Everywhere we went, we partied hard. We didn't care. I'd wake up in the morning. One morning I woke up. We drank too much. I woke up one morning. I'm in a train station, laying on the floor. Me and my buddies, and a guy's sweeping cigarette butts by my head. I'm like, what? That's when you know you might have to chill out on the drinking.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
wow,
we were crazy.
wow.
We went to the max. I mean, I don't drink anymore, but we went to the max. It was crazy. Yeah, I got many crazy stories. I'll tell you over the next while the pandemic's on. I'll tell you these stories. You know?
So it's safe to say you enjoyed your time serving our country.
I had a lot of fun.
Thank you for your service, John.
Yes,
Thank you.
John.
I got one more story I got to tell you. Me and my buddy Rusty, of course we're drunk. We come on the ship. We decide we're gonna play cards with the guys. We're going by the kitchen. We look in. There's all kind of sticks of pepperoni. They're gonna have pizza the next day. Now I said to my buddy, I said, we're gonna play cards. Wouldn't you like a couple of sticks of pepperoni that we can cut up and bring down to the guys for the card game? He said, good idea. Not a good idea. So we opened the window to the kitchen, and I was a lot thinner then. We sneak through the window. We get like 4 sticks of pepperoni. We're coming out the window. Who's walking by? He's called the master at arms. It's like the sheriff on a ship, like the cops. So now I'm coming out the window. I get sticks of pepperoni. He busted me. I got busted with pepperoni, stealing pepperoni. So I had to go to captain's mast. I had to go to Jessica, captain's mast, before the captain in my dress blues, and answer the charges of why I stole pepperoni in the kitchen. So we wound up our penalty. Yeah, our penalty. We had a fan room, they called it. It was nasty. We had to go in there and chip the paint with a thing. We had to chip the paint off and prime it and paint it. It was a nasty job, and that's what our penalty was. We had to do that. Did anybody else steal pepperoni?
No.
Larisa,
yet.
back in Russia, did you steal pepperoni?
Not yet.
What?
Before I met you, John, I didn't have those ideas.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean,
What kind of
other stuff when I was, going through my juvenile delinquency phase, but I mean, but no pepperoni. I don't think pepperoni was on the list.
I've never met anybody that stole pepperoni beside me.
You want
That's
to know.
because you're a true Italian, son. That's why.
What's that, Mike?
Funny.
You're a true Italian. That's why.
Well, my mother was Irish and Polish, but somehow my father was Italian. The Italian took over me. I don't know what happened.
Was it
I
like
want to know what kind of ship were you on? You on like those big destroyers?
I was on an
boxes?
oiler for 7 months, and then when I got on the USS Arthur W. Radford, Spruance class destroyer, 350 guys on the ship. It was we had an ASROC missile launcher. We hit a target like 60 miles away. It was like the first time it was ever done. It was unbelievable. And in 3 years on that ship, they wanted to show it off. It was only a year and a half old. We went to 25 countries. We went all over the world. It was amazing. It was amazing.
What does that feel like when you're out at sea?
I loved it. You go out and all you see when it's calm, you go out, all you see is water as far as you can see. And
Wow.
we did a lot of drills with a lot of different countries. But I remember in North Atlantic, we left Norfolk, Virginia, 28 days at sea till we got to North Atlantic. We had all kind of drills, and they had a bad storm. And I remember I went on the bridge of the ship. The whole front of the ship would go underwater, come up, go under. When you lay in your bed to try to sleep, you were banging all over, hanging on, trying not to, hopefully you didn't fall off the bed. You know what I mean? It was crazy. It was crazy. A great
I've seen
experience, though.
I've seen those
Especially-
videos on YouTube, man.
Yeah. Larissa,
it
what were
can
you going to
be
say?
No, I was saying it can be crazy, especially if you can't swim.
I can't swim. I can't dance. I can't swim. And I
But you're
can't
a
sing
Navy
karaoke.
officer.
And I can't fix
Oh my
vacuum
God.
cleaners.
Oh my God. In the Navy, you can't swim well.
I
That's
wanted to
why
be
they
like,
have floaters.
yeah.
I was watching a documentary about the U.S. Coast Guard, and they were in a helicopter, and they were out at sea, and this ship was gigantic. This thing was just huge. It was being tossed around like a kid's toy in a bathtub. And you can hear the helicopter, and the Coast Guard guy is all on the cable and whatnot, and he goes down, and all of a sudden you hear them say, "Diver is in the water." I'm like, "Diver is in the where?" They dive in. These people go and they're rescuing these people off the ship. Unbelievable, unbelievable.
Yeah.
So for you, John, my hat off to you, and thank you for your service. Because I can tell you, my Irish tookers would not have fared well on ships like that. I would have been wanting out. I couldn't do it.
I was a radar operator, which I loved the job. I used to sit on a radar scope so many hours. I loved it. But I remember one time we did a bad thing. There was a guy on a ship. His wife was pretty big. And we were pulling in a port. We get the radar on, and somebody said his name was Birmingham, his last name, John Birmingham. Somebody said, "Oh, on the radar scope, we just spotted John Birmingham's wife." And he heard it. I felt so bad.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
say it. One of the
Oh,
guys
God.
said it. That was bad. That was bad.
Ooh.
It was crazy times, crazy times. We got to wrap it up soon. So, Larissa, you got any parting words? This is the first time you've been on. We'll have you on again.
Yes,
to say?
yes.
You're a
Yes.
nurse, so we want to give Larissa a hand for being a nurse.
Oh, thank you.
On the
Yeah,
front
thank
lines.
you.
We appreciate
you,
all the
everybody.
nurses and first responders. So
God
what do you got
bless
to
you.
say to wrap it up, Larissa? Anything?
Well, I just have to tell you, at 9 o'clock, we're going to start hearing the helicopters because I'm right in the city, so we can see them, we can hear them. So, John, if you still have those posters from the phone, whatever, remember you were mentioning those posters? Maybe we
Yeah.
can attach them, hang them on the helicopters to advertise.
Give them to the helicopters to
Good
throw out.
idea. That's
Why
a
not?
good
You
idea.
pay taxes, better taxpayers. Why not to take the advantage? They will be flying very soon, right here.
Crazy Russian comedian. There she is, Larissa. We love her. We love her.
Aw.
Elaine, the cheerleader, actress, comedian. What do you got to say to wrap it up, Elaine?
I'm tired. No. Oh, thank you for having me on the show, and thank you for your service in the armed service. Thank you for your nursing service, and Jessica for your therapy board, I should call you, and also Mike, thank you for being a good Christian guy that praise the Lord. I'm a fellow sister in Christ, even though I don't behave well all the time. But, you know, I love being with you guys, and thank you so much for having me. You know.
Hey, thanks, Elaine.
Nice
Jessica,
meeting
what do
you.
you got to say?
I really like this chat. This was really awesome, and to bounce off of that with Mike, that's really cool about that you do that with comedy, you know, and that like, because there's so many different avenues that you can go into with comedy, and it doesn't necessarily have to be at like a club, but if you want to use it to help other people, which is like something I really want to be able to do more, like once this is done and it's safe to go do so, and that's really cool because I've never heard of somebody doing it to that degree before. So, and then, you know, and then of course, like the hot cheerleader on the bottom of the screen, I love watching your comedy all the time, although it's probably not going to come up on the bottom of the screen the way that it comes up on the Facebook. So so I'm talking about Elaine, if anybody's wondering. And then Larisa, you are so incredible and so funny. And John, thank you for just being you. For everything.
Listen,
God, yeah.
when I met you at Copperfield, I didn't know it's going to be our only first time, and who knows, not the last time, but who knows when we would get together again. So I'm just so grateful that John invited me to perform that night, and I had such a pleasure meeting you guys.
That was a really fun night.
Really did.
Oh,
That was a fun night.
Yeah.
this is cool.
Mike, you got
Is that
anything
it?
to say to wrap it up, Mike?
I'm honored and humbled to be a part of this show. It was a great show. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Larisa and Jessica, God bless you both. You're out there on the front line. Jessica, as I'm sure you know, domestic violence is up, suicide rates are up. People are hurting, and they need people like you to be there to offer comfort and to be able to, as I say, talk them back off the ledge. And Larisa being on the front line, putting your life in danger to treat God's children through this nasty pandemic. I pray God's favor over both of you, a hedge of protection, and God bless you both for doing it. Elaine, I thoroughly enjoyed your stories, my sister in Christ. I'm a big football fan. Check out those documentaries that I told you about. They're very good. And Johnny P, as always, man, I love you with all my heart. You are one of my best friends.
Yeah,
love
me and Mike go back to 91. We have had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun.
We've had more fun than it's allowed by law.
We're both kind of chilled out now, but we had a lot of, back in the day, we were kind of wild.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Well, you know what, guys, and especially you, John, I'm a big believer that emotional health is more important than the physical health.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes, thank you guys for doing this and including us. It's
Yeah,
really
I'm gonna have all you guys back on. I'm mixing it up while this is going on. I'm gonna do 3 Zooms a week. I'll have you guys back on. We'll mix it up. I was starting out, I was going to do 2 a week, but you know what? This Sunday, I got Mike Murray and Bill Simus from Funny for Funds. Tuesday, I wound up with this comedian I worked with in 2003 at a benefit at the Providence Performing Arts Center for the station fire. Dane Cook was there. Rich Aronovich, he does all kind of characters. He's going to be out with me Tuesday. Next Friday, Jessica, Leigh, and I will be back on with some guests, and it's a lot of fun. I appreciate all you coming on. I had a great time tonight. I hope everybody did. I hope the people watching it had a good time, and I'll say goodbye to all you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
God bless everybody. Great show.
You
Stay
too.
healthy,
Stay safe.
everybody. Stay
Thank
healthy.
you. Good to see
Miss
you
you guys.
Bye.
Bye.